I was a destroyer. People came to me to have power to dominate their partner and people in society. Other came for promotion and they have to shed human blood to obtain wealth. It was my social condition that led me to magic. It is really when I met a Catholic priest that the spiritual world of Lucifer was open to me. Many people go to church but they are not converted. They live the way they want. The priest and I celebrated the Mass in the parish in the days of the week and on Sunday, but we both were practicing magic and Satanism. To convert means to change your life and live in the newness of life, keeping the word of God. This priest got me deeper in Satanism and gave me many books, like the Book of Father Julio, Enchiridion of Pope Leon, Book of Magic of Pope Honorius, who wrote the book that allows Satanists to summon magic wallet, and the serpent that vomit money. The priest alone made available the book of Pope P21 and P12. It is the book of Ave Lucifer that awoke in my curiosity about Lucifer, and in the end the priest summoned Lucifer in the parish for me. In the world of Satan that is under the ocean there are courses and training of Bible knowledge where the enemy taught his agent the knowledge of the Bible, its bibliology. Satanists learn the Bible and interpretation of verses. They teach that a believer should not sin. And when the believer commits a sin they teach Satanists the immediate implication of sin in the life of the believer, because they are things that happen when the believer fall in sin, that a Satanist must know. In fact, Satanists are taught to cause the believer to fall in sin. They are also taught to stop the believer from repairing the consequence of sin. It is quite a course that evil agents follow in University of the Marine Kingdom. The enemy teaches tactic and strategy based on the Bible. For example, when the Bible say, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar, and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. In this case the enemy teach that you must work to cause the believer to have issue in their heart against one another, like bitterness, animosity, unforgiveness, so that God will not hear their prayer. When the Bible say don't go to bed with anger, the devil come up with strategy to sow anger in the heart of the believer so that they will open the door to him. Christian who walk in God fear, it was even impossible to collect their footprint on the ground. I saw them walking above the ground, not touching the soil. When I asked them the source of their power they invited me to come to their church. I was not impressed to hear about churches because I had just shut down a church that was bothering Lucifer. I joined that church in the appearance of a woman, and on the day of baptism I pretended to be drowned in the water to cause prejudice to the church, and no one could find my body in the water. Then I went on to take another appearance and pretended to be the father of the lady that was drowned, who was myself. When the police came to investigate the drowning of the lady, they told me, since your daughter is drowned because of the pastor mistake, what do you want us to do with this church? I told the police I want this church to be shut down in this borough. It is precisely what had happened. It is true that people were persevering in prayer in this church, but my advice to pastor is this: when someone join the church and tell you that God sent him to come to assist you, you cannot trust him right away. In all things learn to consult the Lord, but by his grace God began to work so that I may discover a power greater than that of Lucifer. I remember an enterprise leader whose eyes I destroyed through his photos and he became blind. When he went blind, this man went to seek the children of God to come and pray for him, and when these Christians prayed for him he recovered his sight. When he was healed, instead of following Jesus Christ who healed him, he went back to his life of sin, turning his back to God. He failed to understand that the devil monitor the life of God children. The Bible say, Beelzebub, your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. This man encouraged his wife and children to go to church, but he went back in that life of going to bar and nightclub. That's how I killed him. I always say that Lucifer is powerful but God is omnipotent and he is the Almighty. Moses and the magician of Pharaohs were able to turn their stick to snakes, but it is the snake of Moses that swallowed the snake of Pharaohs. In the second heaven, when I met the Queen of Heaven, called Marguella, that the Catholic called the Mother of Christ, this principality that is in charge of world religion is the leader of false prophet and pernicious sect and evil churches. Lucifer told me, in your world there are many of our churches. Pastors of these churches have signed a pact with the Queen of Heaven, who give them instruction and power. These churches have signs and symbols, they have dogma, their principle is S above the cross, meaning Satan the opponent of the message of the cross. These churches falsify the message of the cross, for the core of their mission is the misinterpretation of the Word of God, and contradicting of the Word. For example, they teach that we are under the grace even if you continue to live in sin you will still be saved. There is no condemnation for those who are in Christ. These churches of the Queen of Heaven teaches that there is no hell, the dead are sleeping for they know nothings, and they have Bible verse to back these claims. This is even if the Lord spoke of the story of the poor Lazarus and the rich man in the place of torment. The churches of the Queen of Heaven have replaced the message of the cross with the message of prosperity, for they claim that there is no need to waste time talking about sins, it's not their preoccupation. Whenever this principality send a pastor to open a church, the objective to twist the gospel and bring more confusion. There are churches where people can marry many wives. When I came to the Lord, I learned that when you come to Christ you must make sure to keep your commitment to follow His law. I almost died when I compromised. It happened that I had a girlfriend when I came to the Lord, and when I came to the Lord she told me, it is good that you came to Christ but we must keep our relationship. I said, it is a sin before God. She said, it is a sin only if we have sex. I promise that we will not have sex, let's just keep our relationship. When she invited me to her birthday party, she pressured me to drink wine. I forgot that I came out of Satanism, and when I gave in her to pressure, and drank wine, I felt incredible reaction in my body. Quickly I rushed to the toilet to pee. The siren Ahisha appeared to me in the toilet, and she said to me, you made an oath to follow your God and you have professed that you belong to God, so how come you are touching and drink wine? Today it's you and me, we will face one another. She was about to smack me, when I shouted Jesus Christ, and I fell to the ground. People rushed to check what happened and they wake me up and they took me to church. The pastor asked the sister what's happened. She said it's when he drank the wine that he became strange and went to the toilet. Since that incident whenever I am thinking about something impure like sleeping with women, this siren Ahisha was appearing sitting by my side, because she used to be my wife underwater, and we had children, and whenever I shouted Jesus Christ she disappear. This lady of the sea was appearing every time I thought about women. My leader said you must avoid sexual thought. Whenever you are thinking about a woman, your former partner, the lady of the sea, can see your thought and will manifest. That's why I tell people, in order to avoid spiritual marriage, avoid watching pornography. Then my former wife, the lady of the sea, sent me a Satanist, who came to visit me with a lot of money. He told me, John, I have come because you are testifying and revealing all the secret of Lucifer, and we don't like it, we are not comfortable. That's why I came with this money, so that you can set up a company and do business. In return you must give up testifying and exposing our secret. I told my friend, give me time to think about it, I will give you an answer later. My pastor told me, make sure to avoid these people, don't meet them again. You must separate from people who are in the occult. I remember a friend of mine, a former Satanist. He was also a wrestler, in the name of Israel Monkey. He repented and came out of occultism. The devil who was looking to get me was also after him, seeking to capture him. I had barely escaped from the siren Ahisha in the toilet on that day where she thought she had captured me, but Brother Israel was not lucky and did not escape the trap of Satan, who was monitoring his move and step. Lucifer sent him a famous satanic wrestler, called Eddie, who was doing a national tour of wrestling competition across the country. When he got to the center of the country where Brother Moses was, he sought to meet Brother Moses, who was avoiding him. The Satanist Eddie wanted to see Brother Moses, who refused to meet him and was avoiding him. Brother Moses, who was also a former wrestler, did the right thing to avoid the Satanist Eddie, who is a high-rank Satanist. There is no rapport between light and darkness. Then the wrestler Eddie sent Brother Moses a letter through a wrestler. In a spiritual war, a letter can be extremely dangerous. We heard story of people who were shot by ammunition of witches just by opening a letter. Other went blind by opening a letter. It is when my friend Moses opened that letter that he became crazy. When he went mad, he was chained and transported to the capital, where he was taken to many churches for prayer, but there was no change. Finally he was admitted to this mental health facility. Over time we heard that he died. When you come to Christ, change your entourage and separate from some people. I was married to a siren. A siren is a spirit that dwell in the marine world, where they have fish tail, but when she came to the surface she adopted the appearance of an ordinary woman. The same thing with merman or triton. When they come to the surface they adopt the appearance of ordinary men. Generally, people go to consult marine spirit for power, wealth and knowledge, but their leader, the Queen of the Coast, and the Queen of Indian Ocean, propose these people to marry ladies of the sea. These Queen of Ocean tells Satanist, "We give you ring of power, bracelet and necklace, but this is limited. In order to have more advantage you need to marry our daughters and ladies of the sea, that will take care of your need. On the earth it is men that take care of women, but underwater it is ladies that take care of men." Most Satanists agree to marry mermaid for power and wealth, and they have children with ladies of the sea, who give birth to children that are born in the world that is under the sea. They cannot live on the surface even if their father are human who come from the surface of the earth. Often, I had to go spend days underwater, in order to spend time with the children that I had with the siren Ahitya. The lady of the sea often come to the surface to visit their husband the Satanist. That is why most celebrity and Satanist have a secret chamber, where no one is allowed to enter, where they receive their partner of the sea. The case of Triton or Merman is special, because there are women on the earth who are Satanist, and they are married to men of the sea that people called Merman or Triton. When these women Satanist travel to the world that is beneath the water and get married to a men of the marine world, called Triton and Merman, these men of the sea often come to the surface to visit their wife, and when they have sex, these women Satanist get pregnant and give birth to children in the world of men, and these children born from the union of merman and terrestrial women look exactly like me and you, but they are demon, because their father is a spirit of water, even though their mother is a human. These children often have sexual seduction, they are in armed robbery, they are always beautiful and intelligent. I was married with the siren Ahitya, the lady of the sea, and we had 2 children, who were boys. Since I came to Christ all my children are girls. I wonder if the 2 boys I had in the marine world were boys that the Lord gave me, and the 2 boys were Ramas and Rita. Ramas is a name of God, Rita is a name of Queen, member of Lucifer government. It's their mother the siren Ahitya that gave them those names, which are names of goddess and siren. I want to say that there are possession that come through the name that we give our children. When you give your child the name of a demon, it is already an open door for the enemy to manipulate the child. https://www.youtube.com/watch V equals 87QVL3/8 https://www.youtube.com/watch V equals Z4NXFXHO